Ian, thanks very much for joining me on day 2 of Offshore Europe. How's the show been for you so far?
The show's been great. It's great to see so many of our friends, colleagues and clients and potentially new clients. Also caught up with the Kent team. We were here. This is the first time we're here together as an integrated company. So yeah, it's been a good show.
It's been very, very busy, which has been great to see. So quick overview for those unfamiliar with Exceed Energy. Quick overview of the organisation and which regions you work in.
So Exceed is an independent well management company. So we provide the integrated solutions. So we design, we build, we maintain, repair, repurpose or retire wells. So full end-to-end. Our target is typically the NOCs, the independents, though in recent times we're getting brought in by the majors and the IOCs to support them with the late life and decommissioning projects.
And regionally?
Regionally, obviously got a very strong presence in the UK following the merger with ADTI. We, as Exceed, had a historical, very strong presence internationally, and particularly West Africa. We have worked in Southeast Asia, we're doing some work in Australia, and via the relationship with Kent, hopefully we'll find out an easier channel to enter the Middle East region.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So that was news that came out last week in terms of the acquisition. If you can elaborate a little bit what that means to you as a business.
So Exceed is an independent, privately owned company, and despite the fact being technically capable of taking on very significant projects, in the course of the last 14 months, we've managed a spend of 800 million in Namibia on behalf of clients. But we don't have the balance sheet to take on major decommissioning projects. So we felt as though, and we didn't get sold, we targeted an investor and we came up with, we call it preferred attributes of that investor. Went out in a very selective process and we crossed paths with Kent and they ticked a lot of the boxes. We complement each other, we don't compete with each other. Geographically, the places that they're very strong in, we're not, and the places that we've got a strong presence in, e.g. UK, West Africa, elsewhere, they don't have. So we feel it could be a great fit. It's good for the company. We've removed the balance sheet concern for some of our clients. And it also creates future potential development opportunities for our team.
Fantastic to hear, and certainly I think most people think it's a great partnership. So I'd like to ask you to comment as well. You've obviously been in the industry a long time, Ian. You've seen a lot of cycles. Where do you feel we are now in terms of the current UK regulatory policy, and what would you like to see happen?
Well, I think I'll be not the only voice that said this. As an observer from the outside and having watched this for quite a long time, there's a lot of uncertainty in the UK. I think it's driven by governance and the desire for net zero with a target that's probably over-ambitious. Not to say they shouldn't have a target, but when you take a look at the fact that Norway and many other oil and gas energy provinces are open for business and we seem hell-bent on shutting our business down. You also look at EPL. So EPL is an energy profit levy, or alternatively known as the windfall tax, at 78%. Yeah, you'd say that if we were talking about $150 oil, but our average oil price over the last 40 years is $70, and we've got an EPL. And people turn around and say, oh, that's Labour. Actually, it's both governments. It was Tory and Labour. So what's going to happen going forward, I don't know. Perhaps it's going to open the door for reform. Is that the type of government we want in the UK?
Interesting take, but I think there'll be a lot of voices that would agree with you that we've spoken to over the last few days. So final thoughts then on with regard to the partnership with Kent. What do you think that we'll see and look forward to with that relationship in the future, and what it will mean to the business?
So Kent is focusing in on our energy transition capabilities, so decommissioning, late life being one of them. But there's also hydrogen, there's the nuclear waste services, there's the CCS, there's geothermal. So from an engineering company, it's going to create much more opportunities on behalf of Kent. And equally, it's going to create opportunities for us with Kent's clients, perhaps, as they want an integrated solution. Kent, for those that don't know, have got a invested into a data center company, so they own a data center company. And going forward, these data centers are going to consume vast amounts of energy, and perhaps it won't always be renewable energy, so we can pretend to bring in gas-fired energy, but have a CCUS project. So we end up with we call it a carbon offset data center. So these are opportunities, one of, but there's many more that we can explore together, typically client-led. Here's a problem, can you solve it?
Certainly adds a huge amount of capability to both organizations having that partnership put in place. So thank you so much for sparing some time to speak to us, and all of the best with that relationship moving forward, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Daniel, and much appreciate obviously our presence here at OGV, and of course just looking to come back here in 2 years' time, just keep our stand. We'll be here, and thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Cheers, Ian. Thanks.